The game is getting tougher. Getting tougher. Governor Obaseki of Edo State and 3 other governors team up against Wike and aggrieved PDP governors, threatening Atiku. The main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), may have plunged deeper into crisis as about 4 governors have teamed up to counter the aggrieved governor, 5 governors led by Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. Nigeria News reports that Wike and other governors had pulled out of the presidential campaign of Atiku Abubakar, insisting the national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu, must resign or be removed. Recall that Wike and 3 of his governor allies, Seyi Makinde, Samuel Otom, Okezekpazu, had on Friday night departed to Spain for their next round of strategy on the crisis in the PDP, with Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi expected to join them later. However, some governors feel if the demands of the Wike camp are met, it will only set the opposition party for more demands and blackmail by the aggrieved governors. These governors loyal to Atiku and Ayu have now teamed up as a counterforce to check what they perceive as the excesses of Rivers State governor. According to The Nation, those leading the anti-Wike forces include Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, Amadu Fintiri Adamawa State, Doyediri of Bayelsa, and Darius Ishaku of Taraba, and several notable members of the party. According to sources, these governors have threatened to dump Atiku should Wike and his group be allowed to have their way on Ayu's exit. Atiku Abubakar, who was at some point considering asking Ayu to step down for peace to reign, had to make a U-turn due to pressure from his allies. A source said the situation within the party as regards the fate of our national chairman has become more complicated, while it is true that our presidential candidate is now less opposed to Wike's demand for Ayu to resign following the outcome of the meeting between the Board of Trustees, leadership of the party with Wike in Port Harcourt last week. Atiku had indicated readiness to agree with Wike and sacrifice Ayu. But there is a twist to the whole issue, as some of our governors, peeved by Wike's overbearing attitude, have warned the party not to toy with the idea of giving in to Wike and his supporters. I can tell you that Governor Obaseki, Amadu Fintiri, Doyediri, and Darius Ishaku, among others, are now strongly opposed to Wike's demand for Ayu to resign and have vowed not to allow such to happen under any arrangements. The governors are not alone in this stance. Many prominent members of the BOT and the NWC are also opposed to the thought of allowing Wike to have his way regarding Ayu. To them, the Rivers State governor has done his worst and should not be allowed to force Atiku and PDP to their knees. A member of the National Executive Committee of the PDP stated that Obaseki, Fintiri, Diri, and Ishaku believed that Wike and his allies would make more demands should Ayu be removed based on their request. The source said beyond the issue of ego and bad timing, there are worries that Wike and his supporters may remain implacable even after succeeding with the sack of Ayu as national chairman. With the way they've carried out so far, some leaders of the party are insisting that it will be wrong to allow one man to hold the entire party to ransom in this manner. We are telling Nigerians that we are coming to correct the lopsidedness in government. We are saying we want to offer a decisive government to Nigeria. How do we explain that we cannot even manage our own affairs without being forced to accept poor conditions? How do we explain that we can be forced to abandon our own rules and constitution just because someone wants to play God? These are the questions some of us are asking, and as such, I am not surprised to hear that some of our leaders are already opposing the egoistic demands of a minority who are unwilling to put the general interest of the PDP over and above their personal desires and ego. I think all of you really have problem, because if you look at it from one breath, you know that Wike is saying the truth. So are you now saying that you want to continue with the abnormalities that Wike is talking about, because it's going to backfire? Because now you are insinuating that Wike and his group might demand for something more than that. I think at that, the only thing they are talking about is how you must resign, and that is what the whole world is hearing. So if you are not saying because you think that he might demand for something else, of course, which I don't think he will, because if there are things that he's demanding for, you would have brought them before the table. But the only thing he's talking about is the higher resignation, which you all always know, or also know, that the president or the whatever is coming from the north, and also the chairman of the party is coming from the same zone. So that is what is causing this whole thing, and that is the only thing this man is talking about. So you just give, for the benefit of the doubt, you know that what he's saying is the right thing. Let him have his way. It's not even his way, because that is how it ought to be, because maybe that is what your constitution says. If your constitution is not saying it, I don't think it will be so adamant, and I don't think it's his personal wish. Just that the way Wike carries himself, the way he talks, so that is why a lot of people are not really are looking at it as, oh, this man own is too much. But if you look deep down with what he's saying, but that is the truth. Is that not what your constitution says, that the president or the presidential candidate and the so-called chairman should not come from the same zone? And that is what is happening. And according to him, that was what they said, that in case it happens this way, of course you have to change to the constitution. So if at the end of the day Atiku agrees to do that, then and this man comes out and tell you people another thing, that is when you can say no, enough is enough. But if you don't do that, that means you are even telling them that this issue of even the man that is having your ticket as a presidential candidate, so you have already goofed, because it's not supposed to go back to the north. So you people have a long way to go, because even with what you have done, I don't think there's anything you're going to do now that is going to change the minds of Nigerians. Nigerians have already made up their minds, so it's going to be too difficult. That's the way I see it. So looking at the suffering, so that the whole thing no go backfire. God is at work. By his grace, we shall never have another Fulani man as president, at least not now. If Atiku succeeds, his bandit brothers in the forest will finally invade the towns and we are all finished. Why will Igbo and Yoruba vote for president who said his Fulani should not vote for Yoruba Igbos? Some came through the courts and some through the help of Governor Wike to the office of their excellencies, and today they are first to speak up against their mentor. I think this one is talking about Obaseki. How it's going to be funny. Of course, before now, Obaseki and Wike too, they know they are not aligned together. We know how he fought for, he helped, not that he helped, he fought and he stood by Obaseki, and the Edo people did the needful. So guys, let's hear your opinion and have your take on this matter.